Y'all better do some research, Israel. And like what a word authority pointed out, a lot of Hebrew brothers that get caught up in this whole phonetic and this sound like this, this sound like that, become Egyptologists. And that brother said he can personally testify to that.
Yeah.
He can personally testify to that. I'm not making this stuff up. All y'all doing is falling for the name game, black Hebrew conspiracy. Not all Israel is involved in it. But it's a conspiracy to fatten you up and make you proud and ready for sacrifice to the Egyptologists.
Yep.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. And people wonder why. I don't want nothing to do with that. Why I preach so hard against it? I see what it's doing to my people. You follow what I'm saying? This is Ezra chapter 2. And read verse 1. And then we're going to skip. Ezra chapter 2, verse 1.
LeVar, you got it? Hello.
Is he back?
Oh, let me see if I can. Oh yeah, he's back there. He's back. Got it. LeVar.
Yeah, I got it. Ezra chapter 2, verse 1. It reads, "Now these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon had carried away unto Babylon, and came again unto Jerusalem and Judah, every one unto his city."
So this is Israel coming up out of Babylon. I already showed you Adonai in people's name before the Babylonian captivity. It was long before 300 BC. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So don't lie and say 300 BC was when Adonai first appeared in the Hebrew text. That is a lie. A bold-faced lie by a brother who is interested in only trying to promote self. Don't say stuff like that. This is too easy to prove. This is as easy as just picking up a book and reading it. Any Bible dictionary you look up this word in, will tell you the same thing. Go online. Go on Wikipedia. Now y'all don't trust Wikipedia. Go on any site and type in Adonai, and it will tell you over and over and over again. It was a word used by the ancient patriots, and it simply meant the Lord, my Lord, or plain old Lord. And you trying to tell me I can't say Lord, or they weren't saying Lord back then? And we still haven't gotten to the Greek or the Aramaic. Still ain't got there. We still got to get there. Because they got a problem with that. Oh, man, that's that Greek. Nah. Whatever language you serving the Most High in, he has a word in it for Lord. English, Lord. Hebrew, Adonai, Baal, and Adon. And we're going to get the Greek. I'm going to show you Kurios. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you the Aramaic word. Because a lot of Hebrews don't know the Aramaic word for Lord. Some of them do, right? But skip down and read verse 13. Read that.
Verse 13. The children of Adonai Cam, 666.
Hold on, the children of who?
Adonai Cam.
You trying to tell me you don't see Adonai in these people's names? Don't you? And that name means the Lord has risen. So is it a sin to call the Most High Lord? No. They were calling him Lord in Hebrew over and over and over again. They called him Baal, they called him Adon, they called him Adonai, and then they felt so moved by these terms that they named their children Baal, and they named themselves Adonai. They had Adonai in their names. Just like a lot of them had Yah in their names. A lot of them had El in their names, which we're going to deal with. Because like I said, once we deal with that, if you still insist that I can't say Lord, then your career as a Hebrew Israelite is over. Don't call in telling me you Israel no more after I show you this. I don't want to hear it if you still telling me I can't say Lord after you hear all this. I don't want to hear it. You are a hypocrite. I don't like to deal with hypocrites. Let me show you something else. Let's go to Genesis 18. We winding it down. Genesis 18. It's all the way in Genesis 18. Y'all got strong concordances. Y'all got blue letter Bible, dictionaries, and lexicon. All y'all got to do is follow behind me and look up these words. A lot of Hebrew Israelites use the Strongs. Y'all know y'all do. So don't call in here acting like you got a problem. Well, I agree with 95% of what you said. Only thing I've been saying all night is that it's not a sin to call him Lord. And you agree with me on that. So how you come up with 95%? That should be 100. That's the only thing I've been saying all night. The title is it a sin to call him Lord? You say no. I say no. That's 100% agreement. How do you get 95% out of that? Well, what you're saying is that Lord can replace the name. I ain't saying that Lord can replace the name. I'm showing you in the scriptures that the Hebrews felt that Adonai would run parallel with the Lord.
All right.
That's what I showed you. They felt that it was as useful as actually saying the name. They did that. I didn't come up with this. And I'm going to show you that even Jesus Christ followed that pattern. Now, if Jesus Christ did it, how in the world you going to tell me it ain't good enough? How you going to tell me that? I don't follow none of y'all. I follow the Messiah. I don't care what name you think I'm calling on him wrong under. I follow the Messiah of this book, and every time the Messiah addressed the Most High in this book, except for when he was on the cross dying, he always said Father. So you're going to look at me stupid because I address him as Father? When I pray to God the Father, I say Father. I don't say Yah. I don't say Yahuwah. I don't say Jehovah. I say Father. That's what I do. And you're going to tell me I'm wrong? Please. Every epistle in the New Testament that opens up, and I got a whole class on this. Look forward to it because it's coming. Every epistle in the New Testament that opens up when it introduces God the Father, it always introduces him as Father. Never once does it introduce him by a name. Not one time. Do you know why? Because they're trying to teach you how to address him.
Right.
That's what they're trying to teach you. But this is Genesis chapter 18 and verse 27.
Got it.
God, I love these precepts that Prophet and Oliver brought out. Man, those some powerful precepts right there, boy. Still got goosebumps from them bad boys. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 18 and 27.
Genesis 18 and verse 27.
And this is Abraham, by the way. This is Abraham. Go ahead and read.
And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord, which I am but dust and ashes.
Now, Abraham said, I have taken it upon myself to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Notice how the word Lord appears here. Capital L, lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d. Skip down and read verse 30. Let's see that again. Go ahead and read.
Verse 30. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will...
Whoa. Stop. Hold up. Back it up, Antoine. Back it up. Is Abraham praying to God right now about sparing Sodom and Gomorrah?
Correct. He's pleading with God.
He's pleading with God. I mean, he's praying to him. Right? Please, God, I'm praying to you that you don't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. He said, and he said unto him, Abraham, oh, let not the Lord, capital L, lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d, keep reading,
be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Okay,
now do me a favor, Antoine. Go to the Strong Concordance and look up the word translated Lord in both verse 27 and verse 30. And that's 136 in the Hebrew section. Because these brothers call in and say, once you come into the revelation, you only supposed to address him as his name, the Tetragrammaton. Didn't they say that?
Sure. The book don't say that. The book does not.
That's what they say. The book don't say that, and it don't show that. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to do, and I'm looking at the patriarch and the Messiah, and they're doing something different. I don't follow you. Get it through your head that ABT is not trying to be like y'all or subscribe to y'all tenets and beliefs. Get it through your head that we are not like you, we are not trying to be like you, and we don't want to be like you. Get that through your head. So stop judging us after your opinion and take me to the book and show me how the patriarchs, how the apostles, and how the Messiah did it, and that's how I'm going to do it. I don't argue with that. If the Messiah was going around saying Yahuwah at that time in history, then that's what I got to go with. I got to jump on that, but he wasn't. At that time in history, as Prophet pointed out with Philo, it was a stonable offense. You could not say the name. It was a capital punishment. The Messiah, you trying to tell me, my opponent said that in Luke chapter 4, in the synagogue, when the Messiah was reading from Isaiah 51, he actually said Yahuwah. Don't you know that the synagogue was the headquarters of the Pharisees? Mm-hmm. That was the headquarters. He's going to go into a nest of Pharisees and say the sacred name? At that time in history? Come on, y'all smarter than that. No way. You guys tell me Paul was constantly being put on trial by the Hebrew Israelites. They were constantly trying to find fault with Paul. Paul said he was a Pharisee of Pharisees. You mean to tell me Paul was walking around saying the name and not one time in the book of Acts or in his epistles is it recorded that one of the problems they had with him is that he said the sacred name?
Right. Mm-hmm. And they could have brought it up, too, because his letter.
And they could have brought it up, and they sure would have got him because they were looking for some dirt on him. They examined Paul. The Pharisees and the Sadducees both examined him according to their individual doctrines, and they said, we find no fault in this man. That's what they said. We find no fault in this man. How could they say that if Paul was going around saying the sacred name, which was forbidden at that time in history? You don't know your history. Plain and simple. You don't know your history. That's why when the brother called me and I asked him a question, what happened from 300 BC and later if you said the Most High's name? This dude said nothing. Nothing? Really? Nothing? But you want to see, that's the problem. We don't know what we're talking about, but we want to call in and argue. That's always been Israel's biggest problem. Don't know what they're talking about, but always got something to say. You follow what I'm saying? You would do well to listen. But this is where I said we were going. Oh, read that, 136, the word translated Lord, in verse 27 and verse 30. What word is that?
It's H136, Adonai.
Adonai? Yep. Adonai, what does it mean, brother?
My Lord. Lord.
Hold on, whoa. My Lord or Lord?
Correct.
I thought they said you're supposed to call him Lord. Did Abraham know the name? Yes. Did Moses know the name? Let's find out. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. Hold your spot there. Don't even turn away from it. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. When you come into the revelation, you don't supposed to use these words anymore. When you come into the revelation, I guess Abraham didn't have the revelation then.
Yes, no.
Give me a break, man. Go on with all these man-made rules and traditions. Not interested. Keep it to yourself. Always about revelation, as if you got personal revelation. Revelation is supposed to agree with Scripture. Y'all understand that? It's supposed to line up with Scripture. You don't got revelation, you got revolution because you're revolting against the truth. That's what you got.
That's right.
That's what you got. They confusing revelation with revolution. They're trying to start a revolution of false doctrine and calling it revelation. No, you got a revolution, bro. You're getting them confused. This is Exodus chapter 4 and verse 10. Go ahead and read that, LeVar.
Exodus 4 and 10, it reads, and Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent.
Hold on, stop. That's good. This is when Moses was trying to come up with an excuse not to go down to Egypt. The first time the word Lord appears here, it's in all caps. Mm-hmm. Even though the O, R, and D is written in a smaller font, it's still in all caps. When you see the name, the word Lord appears like this in your King James Bible, 99.9% of the time, it's the Tetragrammaton. Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. But when you see Lord appear capital L-O-R-D, and it's referring to the Most High, 99.9% of the time, it's the word Adonai in the Old Testament now, right? So read that definition again. So that's the same word there, 136 in the Hebrew. Read that again, please, Antoine.
Adonai.
What's the name?
My Lord.
My Lord. Whoa. Can I ask you a question, Antoine and LeVar? Can I ask you both a question? Did Moses know the name of the Most High?
Of course.
He just told it. The Most High just told it to him.
He just told him. He gave him two names. He gave him one name that describes who he is, and he gave him another name that was actually his proper name. Ahia was describing who he is, right? And Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, or Yahweh, or Yahuwah, or whatever name you use, was actually his proper name, right? So after he's given a description of who the Most High is and given a proper name, he definitely had the revelation. Do y'all both agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
It was right in the chapter before.
So why would he turn around and call him Adonai if once you know the Most High name, you only supposed to address him as that? Why would he do that?
It was okay.
Because it was okay. Because you have been lied to. Because you have been told that once you come into the revelation of the name, that's the only way you're supposed to address the Most High. That is a lie. Because if that was the case, that would be the only way the patriarchs address the Most High. You will not see Adonai anywhere in your Bible referring to the Most High. Not once.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew the name, and they still said Adonai. They still said Adon. And it told you in the reference that it ran parallel with the name because it described who he was. And the Hebrews felt that it was adequate enough to substitute for the name. Because let me let y'all in on a secret. People tell you you can't know about the Most High or understand who he is without knowing his name. And that's a lie. Because you can read all through the scriptures how he is described, and you never knew his name.
That's right.
You mean to tell me you got to know the Most High name to know that he's the God of all this earth? No. You got to know the Most High name to know that he's the eternal one? No. You got to know the Most High name to know he's the only one you're supposed to be worshiping? No. Only thing the name does is give you a shortcut to understanding all of that. But all the rest of that stuff is laid out in the scriptures when you read it.
Yeah.
It's laid out. You follow what I'm saying? And the Hebrews understood that, which is why they did not have a problem with calling him Adonai, because as prophet and Alazar pointed out, they refrained from saying the name of the Most High for two reasons. One, because they were trying to save people the trouble of blaspheming his name. They also didn't want his name, and there's another thing I want to point out too. When Israel was among the heathen, well, the heathen had a nasty habit of adopting the gods of whoever they conquered. Yep. You follow what I'm saying? And they did not want the name of the Most High being used by the heathen with paganism.
That's right.
So that's another reason why they refrained from saying it in the presence of the heathen, because they didn't want their name to be hijacked and used with the pagan deities. But another reason why they didn't say it is because they just did not feel that they were holy enough to even utter his name. They said, we ain't even worthy enough to say it. That's why they did it. And when Jesus came on the scene, he adopted that same attitude. That's who I follow. I'm not saying you can't say Yahuwah. What I'm saying is, when I address the Father in prayer and in thought, I call him exactly what Jesus called him, Father. Even when Jesus was by himself in the Garden of Gethsemane and he was praying, he said, Father, I pray that this cup pass from me. He didn't have to refrain from saying the name because nobody was around to hear him.
Uh-huh.
And he still addressed that Father when he was by himself. But let's move on, right? Let's go to the Holman's Bible Dictionary again. We only got 2 more places to go, y'all, and then we go to the questions. This is the Holman's Bible Dictionary. We're going to 890 again. Let's deal with this Greek. Because I heard the brother say, and I'm going to put it out there, he said in the class he did on Wednesday, nobody call him curious. It ain't there. He actually said that. How can you say stuff like that, man, and not do any research? That's direct deceit. Come on, man. And I'm not putting you on blast. Go ahead and read what you can say.
And I was about to say, that's why you got all these little sacred name Bibles out rewriting the Bible.
Right, trying to rewrite the Bible to get away from what was originally written there. This is the Holman's Bible Dictionary. This is page 890. This is under Lord. Now we're dealing with the New Testament. Look what it says. Now, this is what this says. Not Brother Josh, not Brother Antoine, not Brother LeBron. And you can look this up in any other Bible dictionary or concordance or blue letter Bible you want, and it will confirm this. It says, the 2 words, kurios, Jesus, compose the first Christian confession of faith. And it gives 1 Corinthians 12:3 and Romans 10:9. The decisive reason for transferring the divine title, Lord, divine title? Wait a minute. It's a divine title? They telling you it's Baal. And I'm going to show you that it's a divine title. Lord is a divine title, right? It said to Jesus was his resurrection from the dead. Listen to this. Before his resurrection, Jesus was addressed with the Jewish title of honor, rabbi, which means teacher. It said, for example, it said Luke always and Matthew usually translated this title into Greek as kurios. Wait a minute. My brother said, Kurios ain't there. That's what he said. It said Luke and Matthew translated this title into Greek as Kurios, and in parentheses it says Lord. It says, according to Mark, only once did a non-Jew address Jesus as Lord. But even that was simply a polite and courteous way of speaking, equivalent to our sir. It said Jesus was also, listen to this now, Jesus was also, that means in addition to Kurios, Jesus was also addressed with the Aramaic Mari, which means Lord. Because at that time in history, the language they were speaking was Aramaic, and the Aramaic word for Lord is Mari. But the events took place in Aramaic, but the events were recorded in Greek, and that's where your Kurios come from. That is the Greek equivalent of the Hebrew Adonai, Adon, and Baal. So how this brother going to say they didn't use Kurios, and the research says that they did? Now let's prove that. Let's go to John 13 and 13, and we got one more after that.
Just to let you guys know, we got 4 minutes left on the air, guys. 4 minutes left on the air. So you're going to have to call in right now to hear the overtime part of the show. For the first-time listeners, we're going to be off the air in 4 minutes, but you can still hear the show via phone or Skype by dialing the number 646-716-7320. Go ahead, Brother Josh.
John 13 and 13. Oh, I can't call him Lord. Give me a break. John 13 and 13. You got that, Antoine?
I got it.
Go ahead and read that for me, please.
John chapter 13, verse 13. Ye call me Master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so I am.
He said, ye call me Master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so I am. They weren't calling him Yahuwah, sisters and brothers, or Yahweh. They were not calling the Messiah that. So you have to ask yourself, what Greek or Aramaic word were they using when they said that term? They were speaking Aramaic, so they called them Mari. But when Paul and Matthew and Luke wrote down their Gospels in the Greek language, what word did they use there? Let's prove that. Y'all got strong concordances. Y'all got blue letter Bible dictionaries. Let's see if the word that I say appears there. Let's go to 2962 in the Greek section. 2962 in the Greek section. The word translated Lord in John 13 and 13. ABC just don't make stuff up. We don't just do stuff willy-nilly. We do our homework. I would not be out here using Lord publicly, knowing full well that I'm calling on the pagan deity. I am smarter than that. Y'all got to give a brother a little bit more credit than that. I've done my research on this. I am not sinning when I say Lord, and neither is anybody else unless they're applying that term to a pagan deity. That's what makes it pagan when you address a pagan deity with it. I can even show you that they even tried to worship pagan deities under the name of Yahuwah. And that made it wrong. That made it wrong. Under the name Yahuwah. You don't believe me? Go to right after the children of Israel came up out of Egypt. And they made the golden calf. Yep. And they said, these be the gods that brought us up out of Egypt. And Abraham said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah or Yahweh. Yep. So they were worshiping Yahweh with pagan calves from Egypt. But they were doing it under the name of Yahuwah. So even when you use Yahuwah or Yahweh or whatever, Yahweh or whatever name you use, if you are applying paganism to it, that makes it wrong. So even with the name itself, if you do that, that makes it wrong. So it has nothing to do with Lord or Baal or Adonai. It's who you are applying these terms to and the context you are using them in, which determines if you are sinning when you say Lord or not. Not just if you say Lord in general. Come up out of that nonsense. Shake that off. Come on, y'all. This is John 29:52, the word translated Lord in 13 and 13. Please read that, Antoine, and read it slowly.
Kurios.
Kurios. Hold on. What word is translated Lord there in John 13 and 13?
Kurios.
Kurios. But I thought the brother said that wasn't there in the Greek. That's a lie. He said that was a lie. That's what he said. That ain't there. Now, We're going to go to one more. But when Sal opens up the phones again, this is what I want all of my Hebrew brothers to do who got strong concordances for the edification of the people. This last one we went to. Call in. But if you got a question or whatever, that's cool or whatever. But please call in if you got a strong concordance and verify that when you looked it up, that's the word that was there. Because for some reason, when I told that brother that the last time, he didn't believe me. You follow what I'm saying? So anybody who calls in from this point that knows how to use the strong concordance, please, if you will, verify that the word there is indeed kurios. And that's a Greek word. And what does it mean, Antoine?
He to whom a person or thing belongs, about which he has power of deciding, Master, Lord. This title
Master
is
what?
given to Master, Lord. And it says
Lord?
this title is, Master, Lord. This title, Lord.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, finish it up. Go ahead.
And it says, this title is given to God, the Messiah.
Hold up. It's given to God and the Messiah?
Yep.
It's given to them? In the Greek. That's what word appears in the Greek when you read your New Testament. The New Testament was written in Greek, sisters and brothers. And the word they used whenever they wrote in Greek for Lord was kurios. Now let's go to the last one. Acts chapter 2 and verse 36. This is on the day of Pentecost when Peter was proclaiming to the Hebrews who the Messiah actually was to them. Acts 2 and 36. Acts 2 and 36. LeBron, you get that? Please read that.
Acts 2 and 36 reads, therefore let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God hath made that same Jesus whom ye crucified both Lord and Christ.
Have made them both Lord and Christ. The same word, 2962, is translated Lord here, and there's kurios. And it means supreme in authority. That is, as a noun, controller by implication, like Mr. as a respectful title, God, Lord, Master, Sir. Kurios. That's what's there in the Greek. I can't change that. You can't change that. You can't read a Greek New Testament, and when you get the Lord, you say Yahuwah, if the Greek word there is kurios. You can't do that. You can't insert words as you see fit. If you're going to do that, at least let people know what was originally there that you're covering up or you're substituting. At least let people know that. But don't lie and say it was never there. So as you can see, sisters and brothers, to answer your question, is it a sin to call the Most High Lord? The answer is a resounding no. But I'm not going to let y'all get away with this. I got to go to one more place in the Holman Bible Dictionary. Let's look up the word El. I ain't forgot. Because I'm going to show y'all that if you are an Israelite and you still insist that you can't say Lord because it's the same as calling on the pagan deity Baal, then you're going to have to start calling yourself Israel. You're going to have to stop using names with L in it, like Michael, like the brother that called in. You know, I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm just letting you know he got L in his name. Brother Daniel Ben Yaakov. Y'all got it, you know, and I know I ain't taking no shot at him. I'm just giving y'all an example of Hebrew Israelites that got L in their name. If you're telling people they can't say they can't say Baal because you're calling on Baal, then that means this. This is the definition of the Hebrew word El. Look what it says right here. El, one of several words for God found in biblical Hebrew and the name of the high God among the Canaanites. Hold up. El was the name of a high God among the Canaanites? Yes. Look it up if you don't believe me. El. But it also says that El was used for the God of Israel. Why do you think you call yourself Israel? Because that means God.
Means God.
It has something to do with God. Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. So Elohim, El Shaddai. All that El. If you are telling me that I cannot say Lord because that automatically means I'm talking about Baal, then you cannot say Elohim, El, or any name with El in it because you are in fact calling on the Canaanite deity El. And that is how these Egyptologists think. Because they'll show you some crap like this, and you'll be like, hey, man, see, you really calling on the pagan deity El. The Canaanite deity El. So y'all didn't know that there was a Canaanite deity named El. Y'all knew about Baal, but a lot of y'all didn't know that there was a Canaanite deity named El. So any Hebrew Israelite that dares to call in and say anything against these precepts that we brought today, you better not be calling yourself Yisrael. You better not associate with anybody with El in their name. You better not have Yisrael in no title. El, don't say Elohim. Don't say El. Don't say any variation of it, because if you do, you are calling on the Canaanite deity El by your own logic. Thank you for listening.